Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I recently made a big purchase and bought a brand new professional model instrument. And this is a really big commitment, so I thought I'd share my experience and maybe help you guys with your own experience upgrading to a new instrument. So the number one rule, in my opinion, is know what you're buying and make sure that you really like that specific instrument. So in the flute world, we say the flute chooses the flutist. And I think that this is really true for all instrumentalists. You really need to find the instrument and, all the things that come with it. The mouthpiece, your barrel, all those sorts of things. You really want to find the right one for you. And everybody might have a different one. For example, my own teacher and one of my friends in my flute studio play on a completely different model than me, and I tried it out and it just didn't work for me. But they sound fantastic. So it just is really all about what works for you. So going along with that, you really need to try out everything. Find what brands work for you, find instruments you don't like, brands you don't like. You really want to try out all your options. If you have a teacher, definitely talk to them about resources for instrument trials. Find stores that do shipments. I know a lot of stores are doing shipments right now, even during COVID. So you really want to just try everything out. Don't make any assumptions. Don't go ahead and buy something if it's really expensive, if you haven't tried out all of your options. You might like something better. If you're spending thousands of dollars on something, you really want to make sure that it's the right thing for you. Here are some things to also remember. Your first impression is usually your best impression. Don't play anything for too long. Set a budget for yourself. Don't try out things that are $10,000 over your budget, because you are probably really going to like that instrument since it's so much better. You don't want to expand your palette like that and know what you're missing out on, because then you're going to want that and feel like you're missing something. So the next thing I'd like to talk about is staying organized during this whole process. So I'm going to show you some of the notes that I took while I was trying out flutes, and hopefully it helps you out with your own experience. So here I have a little Google Drive folder. This isn't everything that I have, but I found some things that might be helpful to look at. This file right here I made is just a list of everything that I still wanted to try out at the time. So let's just look at one of these brands, and we're going to look at some of the notes that I took. So here I have two of the specific models within the brand that was the best for me. So you'll see that I recorded myself. Definitely record yourself playing these instruments. I forgot to mention that. That's really important, because your naked ear might not be the best resource that you have for hearing yourself. So you really want to play it back and know what you are listening to. So these were just videos that I recorded of myself playing these specific models and specific head joints. And then here are my notes. You'll see that I have, the specs, and then I write down each aspect of playing that is really important when looking for an instrument. An easier way to probably do this, because looking at this now, I'm not sure I really like this so much. You could probably make a chart and have each model on the left-hand column, and across the top have each topic of playing. So you could have tone colors, dynamics, tone, vibrato, range, articulation, all those things across the top. And then in each box, you could give a score out of 10 for each thing, for each model. So I'll show you what that might look like. So I just made this chart really quick. And upon trying out each model, you'll have the model here on the left, and then you can just give a score out of 10. So maybe I thought that was a 9 for articulation, 9 for tone colors were a 10, dynamics were a 10, range was maybe an 8, these are just random numbers that I'm making up, but I think that's a really great way to organize it if that works for you. If not, you can always just write them out like notes. That way you can kind of go into detail. You can always do both too. You'll see how I kind of went into detail with each of these. And it's great to have the videos so you can look back and see why you wrote each of these things too. So you can maybe look back and try to listen for the dynamics as well. So I hope that was somewhat helpful for you guys, and you can always add more topics into your notes and your charts that you're doing as you're going through this process. You really want to go as thorough as possible so that when you don't have the instrument with you, you remember what it felt like, and you can compare all the numbers and everything at the end. And you might be wondering, how do you give something a score out of 10 before you've tried all of your options? So to that, I would say make sure that you try out everything at least twice. Say you had like one trial of 3 instruments and then you got another trial of 4. You're not really comparing the ones from this trial to this trial, you're only comparing the ones within each trial. So at the end, I really recommend getting one trial of everything that you're interested in, all your top instruments, and comparing them back to back. And another technique that some people have told me about, I didn't do this, but you can cover up the label on the instrument. You can have your teacher do that, or your parents, or whatever, so that you're not biased and you're completely just doing it based on how it feels. And you can also cover up the price too, so that you're not making your decision based on, well, this one's more expensive, maybe I should go with this one, or this one's cheaper, maybe I should go with the cheaper one. Because really, it should be what feels best and not what you can really afford. Obviously, what you can afford, but I hope you know what I'm saying. And one more thing, make sure that you're playing for other people. You want other opinions as well. Musicians, non-musicians, people who maybe have heard music and really like music but aren't technically musicians, just everyone. Get all the feedback you can, because maybe your ear is biased to what you sound like. So I hope that makes sense. So I hope that was really helpful for you guys. All of those things really helped me out and made my process so much easier. So if you're looking for an instrument, I really recommend using these techniques. Thank you for watching this video, and I'll see you guys next time.